oil, about making an oil, different ways that it could be a question making an oil. Like we're going to, for example, if you want to make a table and you have a barrel and you want to put a board across the barrel, so then you turn the barrel upside down. In other words, if the barrel will be this way upward and you made an oil, so I mentioned yesterday that now the Rebbe Shulchan Aruch, we don't have it here in the Kitzur, he doesn't bring it. But we mentioned yesterday that the Rebbe Shulchan Aruch, there's a shaila about a hat. Is a hat considered an oil? So the emphasis, normally the brim is usually less than a tefach. So being that's less than a tefach, so some hold that it doesn't become an oil, because an oil, we're going to has to be tefach, it can be tefach, a square tefach, berum tefach, the height has to be a tefach. So I said I'll show in Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch where he discusses this over here. So we're here, now there's different kind of hats. Well, Moshe, there's people that they go, let's say, to Mexico, and they buy what they call a sombrero. What's a sombrero? It's like a big cowboy hat. I mean, I see them when I used to go to California. It's big cowboy hat. The shaila is that considered an oil? So the Alter Rebbe says as follows: Kaiva gadol shemesim al roish kedei la'asos tzel al haponim l'hagim b'nei hachama oy l'hagim b'nei hazvuvim b'chol kayitzav zeh shehu miskaven bilvishasei sheyahil olav. He wants to have like an oil on top of him to cover him. L'hagin me'ezadavar also l'loiv sheh b'Shabbos. So you're not going to wear that on Shabbos.
A baseball cap might be.
Huh?
A baseball cap could be a tefach.
Okay, 1 minute. Let's see. Let's see over here. Let's see over here.
It's lelbush.
So what the problem is the piece that sticks out?
Now, the issue, the wearing it, is not, if it's a question of oil, has nothing to do with the street. So then even in the house you can't wear it. Because when you put it on, you're making an oil. So it says, I feel b'techa bias. Mishum issa siyas oil. Im hu mispashet lahala miroishay, tefach al tefach. If it goes, the brim is at least a tefach. V'afilu hu ketzad ponav bavad. In other words, like what you said, like a baseball hat. Now he says, Amedvar Mamurim, one is there, Shaila, Kishat Tefach HaMispashet, Hu Kosher V'chozek, She'ein Nichbet Lamata. Our brims they bend down. So the sombrero is it's a soft brim. So that's not considered a tefach. Afilim nichbach lamata, afim boilet halbe yoyse mitefach svivas kol roishay, ein shem oil olav umuta. Okay, so this is one thing he says.
So depends what hat you have.
Huh?
Depends what hat you wear.
So the satama hats that they wear, the flat hats that they wear are hard brim. So he says, I'll skip over here, but he says over here, lefichach.
But that's not a tefach. It's a tefach. No, but I'm saying a tefach is sticks out around. The brim size or the whole hat?
No, only the brim size.
Then he says, v'yeshoimim shrei osu elo kishehu kosher b'yoyse ke'ein gag. It's hard like a roof. V'yesh misha mekel oid she'im eino oimed b'shaveh ela b'shipua Ein shem oil olav. In other words, if it's not straight, but it could be that will help like for the baseball cap because it usually bends. But then he says also, Leficha mutar lilbos kova gadol shel levad. Levad means felt. Felt. Hanog b'ktsas mekaymes shekayim brittle. Af im yesh b'teichai naya kasha, even if they will put paper, a cardboard, between the felt to make it harden. Shayidei came miskasha b'yaysa, v'oimed b'shavet, stand straight. Kiven she'enai miskaven l'oil, elu chasas rashi. So that's the interesting thing. What I saw is a bear hated. The bear hated over here by this din.
I didn't come out yet a Shabbos umbrella. Basically, you want to carry it, some type of headset. You have an umbrella.
Okay. The Be'er Hatev, in the same shin, the Alter Rebbe doesn't bring it over. He says, V'ha'ari zal, v'ha'ya mesim arosh ha'kapalush, b'yem ha'shabbos, mishum oil.
So you don't wear any hats?
I don't know, he didn't...
That's a capitalist.
He wears towels.
Hat?
He wears towels.
On Friday night?
That's also wears towels.
Yes, it is part. So we'll go back to the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. We're in Siman Pei. Okay, we're actually up to, in Siman Pei, we're up to Pei base. And he says, also loses michse, l'hagen b'bnei hachama, b'bnei hagisham, shekayim shirim. Shirim means what do you call it? An umbrella. Because it's you have to make the question that becomes, some have a shayla. What happens if you open the umbrella before Shabbos? Are you allowed to use the Shabbos? Or what happens if a guy carries an umbrella for a yid, if you're allowed to? So in all these cases, they're machmir, because people will not know the details of how you did it or what you did, and they may learn from you. So I noticed in the other Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, he has a bit of a shayla. There was a doctor who had to go to a patient on Shabbos. And so the shayla was, and it was raining, so should he go by wagon, or should he have a guy open up the umbrella and carry it? So they paskin that he should go by wagon, because by wagon no one will learn anything from him. People realize he's the doctor, so he's going. But this way they'll think, oh, this is another hat I didn't know about. So therefore, in any way, you can't use an umbrella on Shabbos. Now he says in Pei Gimel.
What's the shadow of a hat then? I don't understand.
Well, what?
A hat is open. Is the brim is always there?
Huh?
If a hat, a regular hat, when he's
No.
putting on a hat, the brim is always there, right? Why is it different than an umbrella? If you're saying to keep the umbrella open and you're thinking about that maybe would be good, why is a hat different? The fact that you're putting it on your head, it's making an oil. I mean, it's open. The hat is open the whole time. Why would you think that an umbrella is okay as opposed to a hat, which is open the whole time? Huh?
If the hat is
It's
in
a
the
scam.
box, where's the oil?
Okay, and
On your head is oil.
an umbrella that's open the whole time. Why is it good to do it? Why would you think it is?
When you put the hat on you,
Right.
that time you made an oil on you.
And an umbrella that stays open, you're putting it on top of you also. Why would you think that it is?
But the hat
open?
by the hat is because it's a lelbush.
Okay.
That's why the different opinions that are matter. It's a lelbush, you know.
So
It's
you would think that it's okay.
but
then
an
he's not using
umbrella is not considered a lelbush.
it. Okay.
Kerem shehem shalprokum. Tchuvim zeh b'zeh. Now he's not talking now about oil so much. It has to do more with binyan. He says if type of furniture that is made together that you put together. I think there's a lot of I think there's Ikea that people put together the furniture. It's supposed to be a big business. I think David Fisher's brother was one of the owners of Ikea in Eretz Yisrael. Yeah. So he says, "Kelem shem shaprokim," the keli that's made of parts, tchuvim zeh, where you stick one part into the other. V'nifrado, and it came apart. Is im dak aliyas tamid refuyim, mutar lazirim kach. In other words, if it's not tight fit, so to say, but it's loose, then you got to put it back. But if they're stuck together very strongly, I think some say also, we once spoke about this already, that there's commercial puzzles that people make. So of course could you make a puzzle on Shabbos? So it also depends if the parts are tight, or like by Lego, if you can build Lego on Shabbos, or if it's not.
Lego's guns tight.
Hmm?
Lego is pretty tight.
That's right. So it's there's a big show you can make on Shabbos, because it's really a construction. V'chein im heim mechubarim ayidei charitzim, and he touches up charitzim b'shreifen. Shreifen means screws. Kiven shadak unlias mehudokim b'yaisa. Even that when you make something with screws, so it's very hard. Im heim prudem.
It says b'yoser?
Huh?
It says b'yoser by you? Maybe it says b'chayzik. Okay.
B'chayzik. Dokim b'chayzik. Im heim prudem. Also l'chabram afila b'rifyan. Ach, kisu kelim mutala siram. The covers. This is, we're talking about furniture where it has screws. So sometimes, many times, a screw gets loose. So the question is, are you allowed to tighten the screw? But he says that's also on the furniture itself. But kisu kelim, but the covers, mutala siram, l'chein l'chabram, you're allowed to also attach them. Kivan she'enem asurim l'kiyim, rak l'pascham l'sasman todeh. In other words, the piece of furniture itself is, once you put it together, you want it to stay. But the cover, you always keep opening and closing. So that's not considered a firm structure.
Could be that would be by Lego also, because people take it apart usually. You know. Lego, people usually take it apart, you know. It's like the kisui, maybe not.
I don't know.
Build it apart also, you blow it up. I mean,
Okay.
Because that made the stay, you see. That made the stay.
It's not made to stay, but in general, kids play it and
Just
they
play
break
it
it.
and
No.
and then again,
No, he says,
stay for a long time.
Yeah.
It's cooked as they should.
Michbosh.
Okay.
And he says, Michbosh is a press. In other words, if you go today into the laundry, by the cleaners, how do they press your garment? There's an iron board. The iron board consists of two parts. They lay out the garment on the bottom part, and then they put down the other part, and they use steam, of course. And then they shoot up steam, and that's how they press. But a Morgen Zeiten, they didn't have steam, but they had the ironing board. So people would, when they wanted to get the crease out of a garment, they would lay it out on the ironing board, and then they would close down the tool, and if it stood there a certain amount of time, it would remove it. So he says, Michbosh v'heim shnei meluchos zeh al gab zeh. There are two boards, one on top of another. V'kovshim b'neim b'godim, and in between them, you press garments. Im ha'machber shu shel ba'al bayis, if it's like a private ironing board, like people have an ironing board in their house, is mutar l'paischai, l'kakas ha'begodim, l'tzayir Shabbos v'yom tov. Avo, ein kovshin oisei, l'fi shehu l'tzayir chol. You know, a private person, let's say he wanted to press his pants for Shabbos. So in the morning, he put in a pair of pants between the press, between the two boards, and then he forgot to take it out before Shabbos. Could he take it out before Shabbos or not? So he's saying that's what he's saying. If it's Shabbat Bayis, now if it's a private person, so then he says he could take it out, but you can't put anything in it to be pressed, because that's a vachadik arbet.
What's the difference if it's a commercial or a
That's it. Umachber shokayvsim. A machber shokayvsim. If one is for like a professional, like the cleaners, oishar umnim, also l'ftayach, the kivin shehu machzik b'chayzik. His press is more stronger. If psichosai daima l'stira. So opening it looks like breaking up the press. Rafilim hoy pesuch by joim. Also lekachas misham es habegodim b'Shabbos v'yontiv mishum gezeira shem yavai l'pascham hata. It's gezeira that he will do it on Shabbos. Okay.